Good morning. Let's take a look at the Irish yesterday. This was the main trading angle, 1.63 Bray at home to Finn Harps. Finn Harps scoring first. 9 minutes. If you get an early goal, you do have the option of the half-time market. Lower liability because Bray have a limited time to correct the score, which indeed they did. So half-time is always an option. If you laid over 1.5 goals, went match odds, back Bray half stake, lay Finn Harps half stake as liability, you're out by half time. I would always recommend, if you get something like this, cash it in at half time. You just never know. Even though Kinsella Bishop added to it, we could have got a 2-2 quite easily. So that was the only real main play yesterday. Let's have a look at the tennis. Musetti, got to be on the right side of Musetti. Navone winning the first set. I hope you spotted that. One to follow. Really upped his game this season. Karen Kachanov and Taro Paul. Well, what we don't have here are the pre-match odds because I've put this in the save section, my games section. So let me just see if I can get the correct odds because we need the odds pre-match. That gives us an angle in. That tells us possibility of 5 sets. So you've got a 2-1 lead for Taro Paul, the underdog. The second set was a tiebreaker. So that should immediately alert you that he's just won the correct point. Look at the points, 9-7. That's as tight as you can get. That could have swung either way. So Karen Kachanov nowhere near out of this one. Boom, wins the next set. Loses the match, by the way. But we're trading. It's the journey from beginning to end. It's not looking for the end result. Quentin Halles and Holger Rune. What do we see here? We see a Frenchman in the French Open. And we see a Frenchman taking a 2-1 lead against a very strong favourite who must win the next set, otherwise he's out of the tournament. Boom. Holger Rune, 7-5, 6-2. That's nice. 2-1. Frenchman as well. He's going to perform above expectation, you'd think, in front of home support. So that 2-1 lead might be out of enthusiasm. But we got, if you look at the ATP rankings for Holger Rune, top 10. So got to be respected on that basis. Daria Jazumir and Alcaraz, 1.01. I told you, you've got to lay them because we got two of them come in the day before, 1.08 or 1.05 lays coming in. Not necessarily yesterday. Alas, Musetti I wouldn't be laying. But Alcaraz, excuse the cough, 1.01. We did get that 2-0 to 2-1 for Zumir, but the only real way you can profit from this is to lay 3-0 set betting for Alcaraz, if it's liquid enough. In the ladies' game, nothing at all. It's a straightforward two-setters, which means you wouldn't have profited had you taken on the first set leader. Look at Svitolina given a real runaround by Pera with two tiebreaker 7-5 set wins for the 1.11 shot. That's why we take them on. Well, we take on 1.09 and lower. That's why we take on shorties. They are made to battle in Grand Slams. Just a quick look at today before we look at the football today. So again, after walkover, Feast must be injured. The only Frenchman remaining. So that's a disappointment. Jack Draper is playing the Fonz today. I think Fonz could take a set off him. He is a South American. Watch out for South Americans on clay. It's where they were born, basically, isn't it? Cameron Norrie and Fernley, they'll know each other well. Hugh Fernley, Whittingstall, he's probably going to be cooking up a feast. We will see. Cameron Norrie and Hugh Fernley, Whittingstall, 81st against 55th. Very well matched. Know each other from the Davis Cup, I would suspect. A 5-setter there. What would you think? I always like when locals or when fellow countrymen meet each other. So they'll know each other's game very well indeed. 1 to lay today, 2 to lay today. Novak Djokovic and Yannick Sinner. Unlikely to get any return from these two shorties, but Novak is going on in years. Miselic will be a familiar name from his previous match against Denis Shapovalov. Remember, that was a profitable trade. Miselic won the first 2 sets. Shapovalov won the next 2, but lost the match. So a bit of a fight from Miselic, playing 31st in the world. So not a top 10 player like Novak, but I suspect Miselic could be a royal pain for Novak Djokovic today. Let's take a look at today's football. No live stream, I would suspect. We're getting scattergun times, so it doesn't really appeal at all from a live chat perspective. Covering the OBOS-ligaen at 3 o'clock. I mean, oh boy, I'll get my coat. We've got the podcast today, so I would recommend you listen to the podcast if you want some extra angles into the Champions League and indeed the Eliteserien and OBOS-ligaen as far as injuries is concerned, etc. But just have a quick look through. Watch out for Inter Milan against Barcelona. They scored, I think, 3 goals before half-time in the 2 legs. Straight out of the blocks. I suspect that's going to be a tactic today from Inter Milan. Paris Saint-Germain do tend to score, but watch out for an early start for Inter Milan. You might even want to back first half goals 2.5. But it is a final. It's a major final. It's totally and utterly unpredictable. It's such a huge event. Strom, Godset and Hamkam, Tromso and Vålerenga. Let's have a look. 2 odds-on favourites at home in the Eliteserien. No draws for Strom Godset might be the angle in today. Late on, lay any late draw. Tromso have momentum coming into this. I think it's 3 or 4 consecutive wins. Odds on at home. Vålerenga struggling a little bit. I would be looking at Tromso from a momentum perspective to continue their good run. Let's have a look at that home form for Tromso. Or recent form, that's better. 3 consecutive wins. Home form is a little wobbly. That's the Cup, Sandefjord and Kristiansund. But overall, that's the momentum coming into this. Do score and concede in 2 of the 3 matches. Beating Bodo Glimt as well at home could be something for them to work off today. In the OBOS-ligaen, Lilestrom are newly promoted, newly relegated and expecting to utterly dominate this match. But I got a feeling Egersund are second. So this could be fascinating. Choice, yellow and blacks. No, they're not. Okay, 8th. It's one-way traffic for Lillestrom. One of those sides who have been relegated and are likely to utterly dominate their new league. Moss are yet to play the top 3. So we've got a question mark over how they will perform against a top 3 side. 2.45 the favourite tells us, along with this being the OBOS-ligaen, perhaps it's not one to overtly focus on. With 3 wins and a draw at home, and Asani conceding 2 goals regularly, Odd will fancy their chances again, like who was it? Tromso. Bit of a momentum coming into this particular match. So both teams to score trend for Ranheim would be the key one here, which does suggest if Arlesund are odds on away from home, Ranheim might be liable if leading. With 5 wins in 6 and a very strong second half scoring, watch out for Segunda today, particularly if Raufoss keep it quiet in the first half. Raufoss do tend to get on the score sheet, so do watch out for that one. They don't tend to come out with a positive result. With Stabæk not playing any of the top 7, we don't have a gauge in this match, and indeed the market is telling us probably a match to avoid today. 2.38 the favourite. Spanish La Liga 2 seems to be complete with dead rubbers today, so I would ignore that one. The Allsvenskan, this is going to be a hell of a clash. 2.55 the favourite, 2 very much informed sides. Extremely difficult to unpack. Elfsborg have had a very good second half scoring record and a coming from behind record, but quite obviously these 2 might be cancelling each other out today. 8 wins in 9, plays only 2 defeats. It's a very, very tough one. Both teams to score in 6 of the last 7. 4 Norrköping might be the neutral play. In what could be a neutral day, look at the market. It's awful, isn't it? Well, Sweden will be known for more than IKEA and ABBA if Utsikten continue along their merry way. Might even see Norris McWhirter from the Guinness Book of World Champions. This lot scoring and conceding absolute shed loads. We've had a recent 4-4 for Kalmar. So that's your main angle. This Utsikten match, absolute shed load of goals. 2-2, 4-4, 1-3, 2-2, 2-2. It does infer a goal before half-time, of course. It also infers possible Desmond Tutu back pre-match. That way, you've got the team who scores the first 2 goals covered. Over 4.5 goals might be a trading angle. It all depends if we're going to get 4 goals today when the last goal is scored. Or if you can get 2 or 3 early goals to give the hint that over 4.5 goals will come in. But you can see quite clearly it's both teams to score 2+ goals over 4.5 goals. Umea are gettable all day long. They have trouble even scoring goals, so that is absolutely spot on. If they do score first, that's going to be a shock in itself. So you've got carte blanche to take them on. We've got strong first half scorers, Ågret against the Trelleborg, having trouble scoring at the moment. So that could be a bit of value at the end of this match. Back-to-back away wins for Varberg, but 2.55 the favourites, telling you everything you need to know. This is extremely difficult to unpack. So that's it for today. No live stream. I'll be up and around at 3 o'clock, but it's not the most appealing set of fixtures in the OBOS-ligaen. Goals is where it's at in that secondary league, particularly as well in the secondary Swedish league. Utsikten's 2-2 habit over 4.5 goals. Umea have trouble even scoring. So we've got 2 very readable matches here. Utsikten best really approached as a neutral player because they could win if they're scoring and conceding 2 goals. They might just manage to get that 5th one and get the win. So neutral is best. This is too tough to call. Clash of the big guns, so be very careful with that. I will see you on Telegram from about 3 o'clock, but don't expect too much today. Don't forget, the podcast is an in-depth focus into the Champions League final this evening, and will offer us some injury concerns in the Norwegian Eliteserien and OBOS-ligaen. Well worth a listen. Meghan Markle sound alike. If you want to hear Meghan Markle sound alike, getting excited about Lillestrom and Öresund, then on Telegram, the not the live stream, the podcast will be with you just later on in the morning. Have a great day. I'll see you at about 3 o'clock for the Eliteserien and OBOS-ligaen and a real strong, I suppose, neutral angle in.